Triple Crown here, January 13th, 2024, the start of Super Wild Card Weekend in the NFL and the start of my Eastgate Card Show video as you see me walking down this dimly lit corridor of the Eastgate Mall into the show. The goal today, try to restock as much as possible after I got cleaned out at the last Senior show. If you haven't seen my last video, you can go check that out where I made a lot of sales and now it's time to refill things. Now, just because I'm low on inventory doesn't mean I need to force myself into any deals here. I'm going to have some fun, see if I can find anything cool, maybe try to find some stuff of some hot players, take a few chances. I don't know. We'll see. And, of course, always trying to make progress on my blue ice and blue refractor sets. Needle in a haystack trying to find those sometimes. But, hey, you never know. Maybe I'll get lucky. Let's jump into the show and see what I can find today. I almost always will ask about a one-of-one whenever I see it. Here's a Justin Fields, second year from Impeccable, one-of-one. I'm guessing that this dealer bought it off of eBay on the 23rd, which is kind of an interesting situation I'll talk more about, but I'm curious to see what he's asking for this. Let's take a look. What do you have on your Fields, one-of-one?
150.
Okay.
I have a little rim on it.
I gotcha. Not exactly what I was hoping to hear. The interesting thing about the auction I showed you is that it ended at 12:45 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day. Not an optimal time to end an auction, and I'm guessing that's why it ended for the price it did. If he had said $100 would I have room, I probably would have been more inclined to go for it, but at $150, I don't know. I don't think that's quite right for me, so I ended up deciding just to get this DeAndre Swift auto that you see down there at the bottom. Unfortunately, it did have a dinged corner on it, so not a great start to the show, but we'll keep moving along. I'm about to step way outside of my comfort zone here and ask about those 3 CJ Stroud mosaic cards you see in the background. I typically do not chase the hottest names because I don't like the risk that comes involved with it, and I have to be really careful with these cards for multiple reasons. One that is sometimes overlooked is that a lot of the sales data you'll see on mosaic stuff right now may not exactly reflect the market today. That is because a lot of those sales happened before Prism came out, and oftentimes the demand for the new Prism cards will drive down the demand for the Mosaic cards because, hey, at the time, Mosaic was really the best game in town, but now that there's competition for cards that are a little bit more desired, people aren't as willing to pay as high on the Mosaic. Let's see where he's at on these.
This one?
I guess these, all 3 of them would be interested in. Which one?
1,000, 250. Is that the purple? 750?
Yeah. First things first, I'm definitely out on the stained glass. I just don't really want to spend $1,000 on one card. That's a little above my risk tolerance. But on the red, I'd be basically paying an all-time high for that card graded in any 9. And I have to think that there's still quite a few of those that are at PSA that were sent on the slow boat service or during a special of some sort. And because of that, there's going to be plenty more to go around the market. It's a cool color match, but my intuition tells me not to go after it. I can see exactly what he has into it. He's trying to double up on it. Can't blame him with how hot Stroud is, but probably a good idea to hold off on that for now if I really want one. With how crazy the Stroud market is, I really have no idea if 750 is the going rate for something along the lines of that purple out of 49. I had to look it up. And keep in mind, the dealer saw me looking it up and kind of figuring out, is this something that I can make a move on, or is this something I'm better off holding off on? Let me think about that. Let's see.
Which one?
The purple is tempting, but I don't know if I want to spend that much yet. So.
The purple had one, if you look this morning, sold for $800 ungraded.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Check it out.
I want to preface this by saying that I'm not including this in here to be mean or to take shots, but this is extremely important because I think that there is a lesson to be learned here that you can't always take a dealer's word at face value. I don't believe he told me this maliciously. I don't even believe he told me this to be deceptive in any way. I think he genuinely believes that this card last sold for $800, but unfortunately that's not true. If you look at this screen that you'll see here, it will definitely appear that it sold for $800, but if you'll notice, there is a little line crossed out through it. And if you go and just look at the sold listings on eBay, you'll notice that it is crossed out and it says best offer accepted, meaning that a card with this wasn't necessarily sold at the price that it was listed for, but someone took an offer for less. And use whatever app you want to use to check prices on cards, but no matter which one you use, you're going to see that the actual sale of this card was $400. So it wasn't $800 like he said, it was actually $400. Again, I think he just saw this, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt for sure, because I don't want to assume the worst of anybody. But it goes to show you that you can't always take a dealer's word, because they might not be lying to you per se, but they could be mistaken about something, or they may not have seen something correctly. Always do your own research. Always trust your own gut. Don't just rely on what people say, because, hey, it could end up costing you at some point. All right, let's buy some cards, shall we? And I'm about to say something I didn't think I'd say in 2024, but here I am looking at purchasing a Jameis Winston 1 of 1. Let's take a look and see how this goes down. I mean, then you're kind of playing with house money then, right, if you get, yeah.
I needed to move that, actually, because I had the other one in my collection.
Fair enough. What do you have on the Jameis Shimmer?
Someone offered me $250. I have no idea.
Okay.
You make me a reasonable offer, I let it walk with you. Yeah, I mean, I've seen, again, it's hard to count. We've seen, I was joking around with somebody, someone showed me a Robert Woods Black Shimmer, went for $600. Right?
Yeah, it's kind of a roll of the dice as to who it will be. If you watch the previous card show vlogs, you'll probably recognize this dealer from some of our previous interactions, and he is 100% right. A Robert Woods 101 did sell for $660. With 1-of-1s, it's definitely difficult to pinpoint them, because if you find the right collector who really wants that card of that player, they're going to go for it. $250 is the most that I'd want to be into it, meaning that I'm going to have to bundle some cards together to really get the price that I want, because if he already has an offer for $250, why would he take mine for less? Okay. I'm thinking about the Winston. I want to go back to the Ozzy Albies auto that you have.
Oh, yeah.
And the red Shimmer Kareem Hunt down there I'm interested in as well.
Okay.
Probably those three.
Cream Hunt?
Yeah.
So what were you thinking?
I think we had the Albies at 50 last time, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. I think 30 is probably pretty fair on the Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I literally just comped it yesterday.
Yeah.
The question is on the 101, where do you want to be on the...
Right, that's going to be the difference maker there.
Yep.
I'd like to be at 250 for all three.
I don't know if I could do that. I probably have to have a floor of 250 on it, because I got offered it out on that already.
Right. I kind of figured, when you told me that, I kind of figured that, so I'm trying to get as much stuff together as possible to try to get to help you out too. I had to shoot my shot at 250, but I had a feeling that was not going to work out, meaning I'm going to have to make a larger package deal in order to get to where I want to be, as I said previously. And because of that, looking around at some of the other cards he has, it's time to revisit an old friend from a previous video. 375 with the pools, Sapphire.
375. So this stack?
Yeah. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Let me take a picture.
So yes, albeit 2 weeks later, I do end up paying the 10 tax on the Albert Pujols Sapphire, and a lot of it just has to do with circumstance. If I hadn't sold as much as I had at the Xenia show the previous weekend, I'd probably end up walking away. But because of not having that much and wanting to maybe take some more calculated risks without just being reckless, I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on this. I'm happy with it. I also am able to move more cards for the dealer to help get me to the price I want to be at the Jameis Winston. and also help him move a couple more cards of his own. Hopefully a win-win deal for both sides. That's always the goal when I make a deal, but I'm pretty happy with this one.
Just gonna grab these two from you.
This guy's got some pretty cool stuff in his value box. There's not really much going on here, but I did pick up these two cards for $5 a piece. The Bryce Harper Logo Fractor Pink, number to 199. Pretty cool color match there. And then the Stephen Kwan Rookie Image Variation from Update. Just two cool cards, $5 a piece. We'll gladly take them for that price. I'll kind of go fast through this clip here because this is more so about the story. My friend Justin comes up to me and he tells me that he found this really cool Anthony Richardson Lamar Jackson dual patch card. The only problem is that the price is a little bit more than he wants to be at on it, so I tell him, hey, I'll come over when I'm done with this value box and I'll take a look and see if maybe there's something else that I want, because this guy has a bunch of baseball and lower end football that might be more towards my liking compared to his. That way we can build a stack, get him a better price on the card that he wants, and get me a better price on the cards that I want, hopefully by bundling some things together. This is something I always offer at shows, and by the way, I did have several people come up and say hello to me at shows. It's always really cool to hear that people like the content, so thank you very much if you stopped me at any point at the show and said hello. It truly does mean a lot. But hey, if you ever see me at a show and there's something that you want at a certain table, let me know, because there might be something I want and maybe we can bundle and help the dealer move some more cards and help us both get a better price for the cards that we want. So I see a couple of the baseball cards that he has here. I'm going to take a look at them, see if maybe I can still pick them up, because as I was looking through those boxes, someone came up and ended up just grabbing the Richardson and Lamar Jackson, which, hey, that happens. Sometimes if you leave a card sitting for too long and there's other people interested in it, might not always be there by the time that you walk back around. I've seen it happen plenty of times. It's happened to me plenty of times too.
Where would you be at if I took the Moss with the Bellinger and then this Rizzo down here?
70, 82. These are my buddies. We'll do like 45 for those for 7 off. And I'd give you that for 20. I'd like to move that. So it'd be 65.
65. Did you get the 60?
Yeah, I can do 60.
All right.
Done deal there. My friend Justin was also interested in that Zach Moss autograph. He wanted it for $7, so I ended up moving it to him for that, meaning that I get the Rizzo and the Bellinger autos for $53. If you told me I could only buy one type of card, it would be veteran baseball autographs like that. I just love getting them because I find that they're just so cheap compared to the cost of box prices. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm more about the veteran autos and the rookie autos. I just have a soft spot for them. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, that's a sweet one. How much is that one?
$250.
Man, what once was with what once was with Andrew Luck.
Oh yeah.
All right, first and foremost, apologies for the glare, but through that, let's take a moment to appreciate how cool this patch is. This Thurman Thomas flawless patch with the Mitchell and Ness old school laundry tag on it. Dealer's asking $150 for this card and a PSA 5.9. I end up passing on it for a few reasons. The biggest being, unfortunately, it's just player worn, it's not game worn. But I want to show you something that I come across often in the hobby, and that's people using multipliers on different parallels when it may not always apply. And this card, for example, is a really good example. I'm going to show you some of the sales here, and you'll see that between the out of 20, out of 10, and out of 3 parallels, there's really not too much of a difference in price. The out of 20 outsells the out of 10 in this case, and it's really not all that far off from the out of 3. That's because it doesn't always necessarily matter what the card is serial number to, as more so the quality of the autograph or patch. I mean, think about it. If you had the choice between buying a card that was numbered to 25 with an amazing patch and one that's numbered to 5 with a bland one-color patch, which one are you choosing? I think most people would probably opt for the cooler patch over the lower serial number, because they want something that is more aesthetically pleasing, and the card's appeal is more so about the actual patch than it would be the serial numbering. Same thing with the autograph. You'll see that with 5-star autographs a lot in baseball, where the out of 15 sells for as much as the base. Again, it's not always about the color of the parallel on certain autograph cards. It has to do with the quality of the signature. Does it matter in some cases? Absolutely. But it's not always a one-size-fits-all, and this is a perfect example of it right here. Alright, just showing off some cards that I picked up in a deal off camera here at the end of the show of a gentleman who approached me. Greatly appreciate meeting him. Again, won't name names, but he knows who he is, and thank him very much for his time. Got these cool Monroe St. Brown cards here that ended up as part of a trade to a good friend of mine. But overall, I thought this was a pretty fun show. I didn't walk away with too much stuff, but again, I wasn't going to force myself into any deals. I decided to take a few chances on some cool things. And ultimately, I'm happy with my restraint that I showed on some of the deals that I walked away from. Got to see some things that I don't normally see at this show, and kind of helped set the tone for Culture Collision here in 2 weeks down in Atlanta. I cannot wait to share my experience with everyone then. But until next time, that is going to wrap it up for me. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments of this video down below. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and be kind.